Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. If you're looking for life, business, relationship coaching, hop on over to my main channel at Golden Opportunities. But if you're just looking for the wrestling content, and that is many of you, please feel free to hop on over to right here. We've got almost 1,300 audios available in modern day and old school, including World Class Championship Wrestling, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Wrestling Superstars, Wrestling Challenge, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Reviews in audio format, and this is the WCW Saturday Night Review Series for the 15th of May to 1993. Almost said 2003. Wouldn't that have been wonderful if WCW had survived that far and been under decent management? But neither of these things are true. Anyway, as we move into the latter part of May for 1993, certainly some shortened shows are here. They are plugging Slamboree, which is a couple of weeks away at this point. Remember that we are going through a major transitional period, and it's not necessarily all good. Anyway, Max Payne in an enhancement talent match here. Max Payne still a heel and very basic, not exactly super skilled at this point. Hits a bunch of back elbows, challenges just about anybody that'll listen, including a verbal challenge to Johnny B. Bad to make his way out and about. That is certainly there. Power slam by Mr. Payne, and then he eventually does hook on the painkiller submission hold. Less than 2 minutes in an opening match. Of course, this is the summer months, or the spring into summer, which means that these shows generally run shorter. British Bulldog out next. Davey Boy Smith, he basically comes out and hypes his opportunity with Vader. Match is not happening, and he just kind of talks about wanting to take Vader to the limit in the next little while. Clipped match, courtesy of Worldwide Wrestling, which we will eventually cover on the channel. I don't know how many episodes I'll find available there, but there is a controversial double pin type maneuver wherein there's a reverse suplex, almost the bridging back suplex. Some camera angles show that Rhodes' shoulder is up. Some camera angles shows that Rude's shoulder is up. The U.S. title held up as a result. Maybe that episode is even available for me to check out. I don't think I've ever seen that all the way through. In any event, the Cole twins against the Blackhearts. So basically, we're just going to call spots here because it's hard to tell either team member apart. Blackhearts are Tony Nash and David Heath, a.k.a. Gangrel. Cole twins, don't know much about them except that they showed up in WCW for a little while and didn't last very long. Coles are Kent and Keith, blonde surfer-looking guys who have military haircuts. Anyway, we kind of see one of the Cole twins cranking up on a hammerlock. Nothing really amazing to write home about. At the same time, we see arm bars and really basic stuff there. Goes on the go behind and a double shoulder tackle along the way there. Then we see one of the Blackhearts go to the top rope with the other Blackheart holding him in a compromising position of some jurisdiction. Anyway, one of the Cole twins does the top rope slam off the top turnbuckle, and eventually the Coles get a victory there. Sly Stallone speaks about the Predator movie with Jesse Ventura. Basically, Ventura has done Predator with Stallone and Running Man and all sorts of other fun movie projects. Then we go into a several-minute, in my opinion, too long, hype piece for Slamboree 93. Gordon Soley doing voiceovers for the upcoming, I guess, pay-per-view extravaganza. Not highlighting it here because I'll eventually highlight what actually happened on the pay-per-view when we review it. Heavy Metal Van Hammer, who had been approached by Colonel Robert Parker the previous week about a managerial contract is out there. Um, Parker brings an old school gurney with him that you'd get at a hospital out and sits on it as Hammer has an enhancement style match. Backdrops, body slams, and struggle for the slingshot suplex that was once used much better by Tully Blanchard in a short 3-minute match. Hammer gets the victory there. Hammer says that he finds what Parker is doing to be highly offensive, with what happened to Cactus Jack. Then Colonel Parker basically says that he promises that there will in fact be a man at Slamboree who will take care of Van Hammer and do his bidding for him. That man, no big spoiler here, ends up being none other than Sid Vicious, but we don't know that until the pay-per-view actually happens. Flair for the gold takes up some time with Fifi, otherwise known as Ric Flair's current wife. I believe she's wife number 5. Flair brings out his individuals who are interested, but Missy Hyatt does a run-in on the Flair for the gold set, claiming that, in fact, Flair has been ignoring her all along. Anderson and Pillman are here making complete fun of the Horsemen. Calls them the old horse troughs, among other insults, and basically the inference is that, in fact, the Horsemen are old, need to be put out to pasture. Metaphorically and literally, Austin gets up in the face of Anderson, and eventually we get a promise that the Horsemen will do battle with Flair and Anderson, which actually happens at an upcoming Clash of the Champions. The tag team champions, the Hollywood Blondes, Pillman and Austin, still very satisfied with all that's taken place here. They basically say there are no teams that can take them to the limit. Then we go to a Bobby Eaton match as kind of the main event. Eaton and Anderson outside of the, I guess, continued babyface turn. Of course, Eaton and Anderson, less than a year and a half before, were co-members of the Dangerous Alliance alongside other members. Anderson now a babyface. Eaton kind of wandering around looking for something to do, teaming up with Benoit very intermittently, but that's done by the end of the year easily and probably done by the end of the summer. Anderson still using some heel tactics, raping the eyes of the opponent across the midsection there, and then we see back elbow from Eaton. Eaton certainly willing to go to battle there, and some really basic moves, sleeper holds and the like. Anderson tries to continue to brawl with his former tag team partner. To think that they were tag team partners for an extended period of time, less than 2 years before this, also kind of interesting. Needless to say, modified figure 4 attempted, and Eaton manages to continue to go at Anderson pretty aggressively, doesn't really get as much as he wants out of the process of trying to eliminate his adversary. Kick by Eaton under the chin, and Anderson spins him around and hits the DDT, finally. And Arn Anderson up to his feet, pops up pretty happily, and continues to stomp on his adversary. We see the backstage area, and Anderson does eventually get the victory. We then see Barry Windham roll out on a Harley. I think this is the only time I've ever seen Barry Windham ride a Harley, but basically implying that he can beat anybody, including Arn Anderson and anybody else, for the NWA champion. Of course, he's still holding on to that NWA title for a couple of more months. And we close the program on that note. We've got over 1,200 other programs, modern day and old school wrestling. Please check us out, and we'll be back with more right after this.